Champions Trophy is like a mini World Cup. Virat Kohli, no wonder the world calls him a chase master. I think overall it's been a fascinating tournament so far now.
Who is Srinath's pick for the final? Is it going to be India versus South Africa or is it going to be India versus New Zealand? India has beaten Australia in the Champions Trophy semi-final. Joining me today is a former cricketer and the present BCCI umpire, K Srinath, who will discuss with us the post-match analysis of India's victory over Australia. Welcome to the Federal, Srinath.
Thank you very much.
How do you evaluate India's overall performance in this crucial semi-final match against Australia?
I think I would say India have ticked all boxes in this game, and it's been a pretty professional and clinical performance, I would say. A lot was said about when both the teams, in fact, South Africa and Australia had to travel to Dubai because they didn't know who was going to play against India there or who's going to play the semi-final in Dubai per se. But having put all those to rest, I think it was then decided to be the match of the tournament. As always, is India-Pakistan, which is a blockbuster. But Pakistan having exited from the tournament, the next blockbuster in this tournament was India-Australia. I think it didn't live up to the expectation, is what I would say. But again, yes, a professional all-round performance by India in this game.
Okay, so what do you think was the turning point in this match that secured India's win?
To start with, I think the wicket played reasonably well when Australia batted. And I think to me it was the wicket of Smith that triggered the collapse because the partnership between Smith and Carey was building well, and we were looking anywhere close to between 290 and 300. I think 290, 300 would have been a tough ask for India to chase second. But once Smith got out, and then followed by Inglis, and then Maxwell playing a bad shot, a six, and getting out then it became a matter of time wherein could Australia go on to complete the 50 overs. So I think that was a turning point, and India managed to bowl out Australia at 264, 3 balls to spare. And yes, I think that was a turning point when India really got back into the game, getting the wicket of Steven Smith.
Okay, so how did India's bowlers manage to restrict Australians' batting lineup effectively? They have a very strong batting lineup: Steve Smith, English, and you can say Alex Carey, of course, in the playing in the middle order.
One good thing that happened with India was they decided to go with an unchanged playing 11. They played four spinners, which was tough actually, because Australia have got three left-handers in the top order. But I think despite that, Varun Chakravarti, Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel, and Jadeja, mind you, three left-hand spinners, but one of course is unorthodox. I think all the four of them bowled really well, and Shami started off well and finished well also. So I think overall they bowled in the right areas. And of course, it was very inspired captaincy by Rohit, the way he rotated all his bowlers and used Hardik Pandya up in the front also. So I think that is what bowling in the right areas and not trying too much. And, though there was a partnership building between Steven Smith and Alex Carey, they just kept a leash on it and ensured not many boundaries were given away at that point in time. So I think dot ball pressure built up, and that's what forced the partnership to break. And then rest, we all know, 264 was what Australia could muster at the end of their innings.
Srinath, I want to ask you one more thing. Do you think Australia miscalculated in the batting strategy today?
Well, typically the nemesis for India always in the recent past has been Travis Head. I think Travis Head really started off well, but he was foxed by Varun Chakravarti. He really got off to a good start. 39 of 33 was what Travis had got. And he just started building a reasonably good partnership with Smith. I think when the ball was hard and new, I think the first 12, 13 overs, the ball was coming onto the bat. But Australians actually had a game plan. And in fact, yesterday in the press conference, Steven Smith had said that it was good for them to have a couple of hits out in the middle there in Dubai because they were facing different conditions from Pakistan. He said the key was to counter the Indian spin bowling attack.
Also, I want to ask you one more thing. How do you find the captaincy decisions of both the teams during the match?
Well, I think, see, a captain is as good as his team. So he's a captain because he's got the resources around him. I think the luxury Rohit has had is he's got four quality spinners in the side. Mohammad Shami has a spirit and fast bowling, and in the recent past, we've seen Hardik Pandya really done the role of an all-rounder pretty well. I think the drawback for Steven Smith has been missing out on their key pace attack of Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood, and Mitchell Stark, which is a body blow. I think these three are top fast bowlers, and the sudden retirement of Marcus Stoinis, and also they missed Darcy Short in this game because of an injury. I think this is a relatively new look squad. I think to marshal that team to get through till the semi-finals, I think Smith did reasonably well as a captain for his side.
Yeah, you can also see the same captain Rohit Sharma as captain the same Indian team in the 2023 ODI World Cup, which led to a loss. How do you see this winning against the same team, Australia?
See, two of the best sides in the last few years have been Australia, India, England, and New Zealand. Mind you, the sort of run India had in the World Cup, it was just that it's not even one bad day. I would say just about 6 7 hours of bad cricket, which cost them the World Cup. Australia played smart that particular day, and they came up trumps. And you can't take anything away from what India have done today. People might say that they've beaten a side which didn't have a full Australian lineup. As I said, missing three of the premier fast bowlers, an injury to one of their top order batters. But Champions Trophy is like a mini World Cup. Got eight of the top 12 teams in world cricket participating, and it's a mini World Cup. So, and it's an ICC event. The last Champions Trophy was held in 2017 in the UK, and India won it last time was in 2013 in England. So, I think adding one more feather to his cap, Rohit, one more shot in the final. So, victory would certainly be sweet to beat Australia at any event, especially on a world stage, would certainly be very sweet for India.
Was there any particular player from India who stood out in this victory?
I think overall the bowling attack was pretty impressive. They bowled well in tandem because we always discuss about partnerships and batting. It's just not about that. I think the key also is to the bowling department doing well in partnerships. I think the spinners bowled well in tandem. Maybe only Kuldeep was the one who didn't have anything to show in the wickets column, but overall it was economical and the fielding was pretty good today. Not many lapses. But the start was not up to the mark when we lost Shubman Gill pretty early. But I think again, the class of the man. So much has been spoken about him in the last few years about his form. Will he rediscover what he's done? So he came back roaring to form in the game against Pakistan. I think that crucial knock and this partnership with Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli. I mean, no wonder the world calls him a chase master.
So, what key factors contributed to India's success in chasing the target?
See, once the advantage has been you played three games. Of course, playing three games before this, they've encountered different surfaces, and today was certainly a different surface. Absolutely, ball track with no grass on it. So they had an idea about how the wicket behaved when India bowled first. So that was there in their mind. And when you're chasing a target, 264, just about less than six. It's about 5.75. So always you have time to plan your innings. So always we have the hitman at the top. I mean, today also he just got off to a flyer and unfortunately was dismissed on 28. But nevertheless, when you have a target in front of you and you've got experienced cricketers like Rohit, Gill in form, of course, he didn't come good today. And of course, the world's best chase master in white ball cricket, Virat Kohli, and Shreyas Iyer has been in good form. So definitely they would have had a measure of the pitch. And again, I would say not one of the better bowling attacks in this Champions Trophy Australia had. So they certainly had a measure of it and spent time in the middle. No nonsense cricket, no frills. I think that's what took them to the distance.
Yeah. So, Srinath, how did the pitch conditions in Dubai impact the flow of the game today?
I mean, I wouldn't say the pitch condition because typically in the subcontinent, when we see cricket being played in India, especially the recent series that India played against England, We saw high scoring games in excess of 280, 300. So Dubai, unfortunately, in the last four games, including this one, has not come out with anything that is totally in favor of the batters. Nor have we seen much of dew when the teams have been bowling second under lights. So basically, it's been a sort of mix and match. I would say when India played New Zealand, we saw the New Zealand bowlers extract some swing early in the innings. So that was tough to encounter. But India did manage to put up a decent score. And again, when India bowled in the second, we saw the pitch offering quite a bit of spin. So it's been pretty surprising. Normally, what spectators would expect when they want to go and watch ODI matches, they would want to see a plethora of runs being scored. Sixes and fours being scored all over. But here, the venue in Dubai has not put up such surfaces which has been, conducive for high scoring. I think it's the highest score that's been put up has been today by Australia. But otherwise, it's always between 235 and 240, 250. So hope only, a better surface can be put up where there's an equal contest between bat and ball or more tilted towards batters in the finale.
Okay, so Srinath, do you think India's experience playing in Dubai gave them an advantage over Australia?
I mean, a lot of this has been spoken in the media and some of the English commentators as well as some former cricketers in Australia have been, raising eyebrows, saying that it's like home conditions for India. I don't think India plays that regularly in Dubai. In fact, if it were to be for Pakistan, because Pakistan's most of the home games prior to the last couple of years were all played in Dubai. So they are the teams, or Afghanistan for that matter, would have been more friendlier, adapting to the conditions there. But for India, they've traveled there. Maybe acclimatization, fair enough. They would have been used to what is happening around them in Dubai. But I see that the last four games that they've played, including this one, I think they've encountered totally different conditions. Each pitch has been different in nature, and I think it's been the mindset and makeup of the Indian setup that they've really applied themselves to these conditions come out well. I mean, I don't see that excepting they've stayed in one place, they haven't had any sort of unfair advantage by playing all their games in Dubai.
Okay, so with this win, what should India focus on to prepare the finals?
I think overall it's been a fascinating tournament so far. Now they've not put a step or foot wrong so far. I mean, I don't see what they should be trying and doing differently. All the top batters are fired. Maybe Rohit is due for a big one, and as we all know that he's a man who's known to rise to the occasion when it matters most. So nothing more than Champions Trophy finals for Rohit Sharma to come good as a batter. Shubman Gill has been in sublime form. We've seen Virat Kohli rediscover his old touch. Shreyas Iyer has put up a couple of good performances. KL Rahul has been in good touch. I mean, there's nothing that we can really say that or pinpoint fingers saying this is what they need to do. So maybe if there's been a small slip up here or there in the fielding, that's something they would work on. Otherwise, I think this Indian side looks really molded. Come any condition in the finale, the pitch or the weather-wise, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think they would just replicate what they've done so far in the last four games.
Okay, so one final question. Who is Srinath's pick for the final? Is it going to be India versus South Africa, or is it going to be India versus New Zealand?
India has one that it's already qualified. So the second one would be a tough one because New Zealand, Pakistan, and South Africa had played a triangular series just before the Champions Trophy. Of course, South Africa was quite depleted. They didn't have four or five of their regulars. But this South African team looks having all their bases covered. But the question always that remains is, will South Africa shed their tag of being a team which would, choke during the knockouts? It happened in the T20 World Cup against India in West Indies. I think it would be an equal contest. Having seen the way the Kiwis have played in the knockouts of world events, I think they would have a slight edge. But I think this time around, my gut says, and I would put my money on South Africa. I think it could be a repeat of the T20 World Cup final, India, South Africa. That's what I feel.
Thank you for your time, Srinath. Thank you.